feeling a lot of emotions right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming back to the channel. Got an important topic I think we should start considering, or a few topics actually, that we should really start thinking about to the road of No Man's Sky launch. So some really important topics that I think really worth bringing up as we draw closer and closer to the release of No Man's Sky. We're within 30 days, folks, so no pressure. I feel the pressure. This is terrible. But let's talk the first thing, and the first thing that I think we're looking at next is the potential of going gold. That's going to happen probably any day now. For those that are uninitiated, going gold is an industry term for we are ready to print and ship and market. Basically means the game is done, barring any day one patches or any important stuff like that. So look forward to Hello Games and Sean Murray and all the folks starting to celebrate on Twitter and other outlets that No Man's Sky has gone gold. So I can't wait to see the unique way that No Man's Sky celebrates that. So once it's gone gold, then we can look towards a heavy marketing cycle, and it's not like we haven't seen some subtle marketing happening here and there. What we really need to pay attention to is the big AAA marketing. So Sony has been saying since No Man's Sky blew up in popularity that they're going to treat this game like a AAA title, which is huge. So if you look at AAA title marketing, think about what that might mean. If you look at a game like Destiny or Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, something like that, you can start to see things like television ads, if you haven't been seeing them already, advertisements playing on YouTube, showing up on your Google AdSense as far as what sites you're visiting. So if you go to a particular site like a message board or anywhere rather, if you participate in Google, you're probably going to start seeing, especially if you're a huge follower of No Man's Sky, you're going to start seeing a whole lot of advertising showing up in your advertising bars and headers and footers and things like that. And of course, we're already starting to see some print advertising happening. If you did not play Uncharted 4, which was a fantastic game, by the way, if you bought Uncharted 4, at least here in the United States, I've been seeing a lot of pictures pop up on Twitter and places like NeoGAF and Reddit that are showing that Sony included a little advertising sleeve for No Man's Sky with the game. So, I mean, Uncharted 4 sold more than 2 million copies in its first week, which to me, that's hundreds of thousands, millions of eyes that are becoming aware of No Man's Sky, and maybe you're getting curious about it. At least that's the hope. So that's the big AAA marketing piece. That's going to be, let's start getting No Man's Sky in front of all the eyes that we possibly can, so we can move as many units come June 21st. So let's talk a week, maybe 2 weeks before launch, because we can anticipate that Sony and Hello Games are going to start getting out review copies to all of the major games journalism outlets, your Polygons, your Kotakus, your GameSpots, your other littler outlets like things like Easy Allies and all the other folks that might want to get their hands on them. And maybe, you know, I'm going to shamelessly beg here, but maybe some of the YouTubers, you might want to get on that action. If you look at some Call of Duty channels, for instance, you'll notice that a lot of Call of Duty podcasters out there are getting their hands on the game typically before launch. So it'd be really cool to have an opportunity to review the game beforehand. And a big topic of discussion recently, and we saw a lot of this happen with games like Destiny and Doom and things like that, where there is a potential review embargo, and embargoes happen all the time. Embargoes aren't a bad thing necessarily unless they're misused. So let's say, for instance, if an embargo is tying down reviewers until release day, that's a bad thing, because what that does, that gives the game sort of a negative stigma that says, okay, we're not supposed to know what reviewers are saying about this game until the launch day. That's questionable. So I really hope that's not a problem with No Man's Sky. So look forward to news about when the review embargo will end, hopefully before launch, so a lot of folks can make their educated decision on whether they want to purchase No Man's Sky or not. So now that we've got going gold, now that we've got AAA marketing out of the way, now that we've got review copies out to all of your major outlets so we can get some reviews flowing in about the game, last stop until launch, the Super Bowl of the gaming industry, E3. It's going to be a big day. June 13th will probably be the last time you could expect to see Sean Murray and company on stage demoing their game, and there's no way they're not going to do this. This is the final marketing push before the launch, a week or a week and change later, depending on where you live in the world. Huge opportunity. And if you haven't noticed, Sean Murray has been really mum about whether it's going to support PSVR or not. And this is probably for a couple of reasons. For one, they want to save it for a Megaton announcement. There's a lot of folks that I've even seen that have said that won't buy No Man's Sky unless it's VR ready. It's kind of crazy, but it's true. There are folks that really want to play this game, and they really want it to be a power hitter for PSVR when it launches. So that's a big thing. Another reason that Sean might be dodging the issue is simply because if we've been following the news lately, we know that Microsoft and Sony are preparing new revisions of their current consoles. So you have your PS4K, which is expected to be a lot more powerful for the hardware piece, and then you've got the Xbox 1.5 or whatever it is that they're deciding to codename that. I imagine on the Sony end, and really we haven't even got a confirmation of what the technical aspects for No Man's Sky are going to look like. Things like frame rate, things like resolution, and when it comes to VR, Sony, especially Sony, has taken a hard line on if you are a VR game, you are required to run at 60 frames per second, at least 60 frames per second, consistent, no drops. So that's something that we want to guarantee that No Man's Sky has. So maybe we'll have a PS4, PSVR, PS4K simultaneous announcement with No Man's Sky capability happening all at the same time. So there could be many reasons why Sean is mum about the idea of not being PSVR capable, or maybe it just isn't, and it is what it is. That's I mean we'll just have to find out. So E3 really has to be a huge splash. And remember what happened last year. There was a huge reaction. If you go anywhere on YouTube and check out some of the reactions that were there as far as that show, you'll know just sort of the vastness of the galactic map was just huge. So it's nice to know that we have positioning to be able to really explode onto the stage at Sony's E3 conference, really get a bunch of eyes, really blow some minds, and then we're 1 week away from launch. It's ridiculous. I can't take the pressure anymore. It's so close. So keep it here, and we're going to keep covering the game as we find out more information, because I expect we're going to start getting more information, more videos, more media, hopefully in the next month running up to E3. Thanks for hanging out with me, everybody, and see you in the next one.